guys here for? You're doing a petition? What's the petition?
It's for, what do you call it? I'm doing a petition for some, I want to get, what's it called, dash times on police interceptors. I got into a serious accident with a police car, and they didn't have any numbers or anything. And they told me my car, and I was at the end, and I hit a red light around there.
Where was that?
It was on Middlesex Street.
I read that. That was like last year, right?
Yeah. It's happened again with another person. So,
Are you on the agenda?
yeah, I should be number 9. Yeah, 9.2. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it wasn't easy, I'll tell you that.
Yo. Oh, mic was on. Wait, you work for the city too? No, we got a pass. Oh. I was saying, you work down for the city? Oh, you don't work for the city now? Not bad. How's the studio? might see me out tomorrow. Oh my God, the meeting's about to start. Hey, Eric. Oh. Eric, it's about that time. That's up, Eric.
House, yes.
March 3rd, 2026, City Council meeting come to order. The prayer. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Rourke.
Here.
Counsel Scott. Counsel Chow.
Here.
Counsel Dakota.
Here.
Counsel Amir Gitchia.
Here.
Counsel Duran.
Here.
Counsel Liang. Counsel McDonough.
Here.
Counsel Mercier.
Here.
Counsel Nuon. You got 7 present.
Councilor Robinson's here.
8 present.
Gee.
It's nice to hear that. Any moment of silence is Councilor Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to offer a moment of silence in darkened chambers for Robert Charles Beau Janes, beloved husband of Desiree de Padova Janes, with whom I had the pleasure to marry them 18 years ago. Bo was raised in Lowell, where he attended the area schools. For over 34 years, Bo worked with the City of Lowell Department of Public Works until his retirement in 2011 as a foreman. He also dedicated his summers to helping out at the summer programs at Shed Park with the DPW/Recreation Department. The name Bo Janes is synonymous with boxing in Lowell, and he was one of the finest boxers to ever come out of the Mill City. Irish Bo Janes, as he was known, boxed the silver mittens and later the golden gloves, winning the 1965 New England Golden Gloves as a featherweight, and finished his amateur careers with a record of 37-9. He made his professional debut later in 1965, winning his first bout as a pro. Over his 15 years professional career, he held 5 different titles across 4 different weight classes. Known for his solid chin and good combination, he traveled all over the world as a boxer and took pride in his storied boxing career, retiring in 1980. In Bo's retirement, he kept in great shape. He loved getting out for walks around Shed Park with his beloved dog, Bo Dina. Bo had a wonderful sense of humor and will be missed by all who knew him. Forever be remembered as a true Lowell legend. In addition to his wife, Desiree, Bo is survived by his 5 children, 4 daughters, Tammy, Kelly, Kelly, Heather, Colleen Janes, and his son, Bobby Bopper Janes. 3 stepsons, many grandchildren, and step-grandchildren. We offer our condolences to his family, relatives, and many friends. And I would also like to offer a moment of silence and darkened chamber to all those who passed away since our last City Council meeting. May they all rest in peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. Anyone else? If we could darken the chambers, please. Two, Mayor's Business. 2.1, Communication, Remote Zoom Participation. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Sakari Chow, seconded by Councilor Dakota. 2.2, Citation, that has been pulled. 2.3, Proclamation, Bicentennial Celebration. Whereas the City of Lowell was officially incorporated in 1826 and for 200 years has stood as a proud symbol of innovation, resilience, and cultural richness. Throughout its distinguished history, Lowell has evolved from a textile manufacturing powerhouse into a thriving center of arts, education, and small business and civic engagement, continuing to honor its heritage while embracing progress and opportunity for future generations. And whereas Lowell kicked off 2026 with a special bicentennial edition of Winterfest on February 28th. The Bicentennial Sponsorship Committee has worked diligently to bring exciting new innovative to the city in celebration of this milestone. Celebrity baker Buddy Velastro hosted a local bakery showcase and gifted the city a custom-made birthday cake. The city has partnered with nonprofits, local businesses, and artists to encourage broad participation in bicentennial events, which will be hosted at local establishments. These celebrations will take place from May through October, culminating with the highly anticipated Monster Bash. And whereas the City of Lowell extends its sincere gratitude to the bicentennial sponsors, lifelong Lowellians who have dedicated themselves to the success of these events out of their deep love of our city and steadfast commitment to the residents and families who proudly call Lowell home. Now, therefore, I, Eric R. Gitchier, Mayor of the City of Lowell, do hereby proclaim this year as a celebration of Lowell's Bicentennial and invite all residents, visitors, businesses, and community organizations to join in commemorating 200 years of history, unity, and achievement as festivities and events take place over the next 8 months in honor of this remarkable milestone. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilors, I wouldn't want tonight to go by without saying thank you very much to our fundraising committee, Mr. Panagiotakis, Ms. Mahoney, and Mr. Kunzler. They're in the process of putting together a whole host of things throughout the 8 months, what I would say would be special. And this money was raised privately throughout the year. There'll be events going on. But at the same time, this council and the councils prior to have put money aside to help us with our restaurants. So I just want to take the opportunity to say, last Saturday was fabulous. I saw all of the councilors there. I think everybody had a good time. I think, some of the bakeries that really had an opportunity. I had heard Mr. Councilor McDonough talk about his favorite one, but he's not going to, he's got so many that he lives near in the downtown area. But it was really an opportunity for all of us to just simply say thank you. And say thank you to all the councilors. Thank you to, once again, the private fundraising done by Mr. Panagiotakis, Ms. Mahoney, and Mr. Kunzler, because there's more to come. And from our own case team, we'll be really pressing with our restaurants. So once again, please reach out to the restaurants of your choice and let them know what we want to have happen. This is a really exciting time for the city. We could have done it the way others do it in just one day, but we're going to do it bigger, better than everybody else over the next 8 months. So thank you all very much for all of your participation. And I do think I saw Mr. Dakota singing for quite some time,
Yes.
and he did one heck of a job. I was trying to wave him up to see if he'd wave me up to help him sing. That did not happen. So I wasn't ready to come up, apparently. But so once again, councilors, thank you very much for your support this weekend. And to Mr. Velastro, I think he really knocked it out of the park. As in the theme of Jaws, we needed a bigger boat because there was everybody that really wanted to see that. And for the residents, the cake is on display. And thank you very much for the Greater Lowell Regional Technical High School for building the
Cake cover.
the cover. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to protect this piece. So thank you all very much, and we're looking forward to a big kickoff. Happy birthday to our city.
Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I echo the city manager's sentiments and gratitude towards all the sponsorship. What an amazing weekend. I had never seen downtown Lowell so lively, like in the middle of winter. So many people came out. Thank to your staff, Mr. Manager. They were everywhere. Of course, the Porsche, DPW, the police officers, the firefighters, all the first responders made the whole place very, very lively, very, very safe. It's just great to kick off the Bicentennial in this way. And I was very excited to meet the cake boss, and I understand that he made some cake for the public, but by the time I made it to the cake tent, somebody told me that the mayor ate all of it already, so I didn't get a chance to have a piece of the cake, but I'm sure, as long as Mr. Mayor likes it, I'm sure it was a great cake. Thank you.
It was amazing. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. Through you to the city manager, would you mind, a few people have reached out, business owners, and another woman reached out that actually had great success with her maiden voyage of the Mural Festival. And they are more than eager to find, is there a way that the city would work with them to do something for the Bicentennial celebration as well? Who can they contact? Who's the go-to person for more information about what's available?
Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the council. The first stop would be Mosaic, would absolutely be a choice, and our own Ms. DeRojas could help with that as well. So, council, if you want to get me that information, or however you would want to do that, myself or Assistant City Manager Machado, we can try to facilitate that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager, what a tremendous, tremendous Winterfest, start of our 200th anniversary. I want you to, for the city, I stood there on my legs for 10 hours that you would have thought I was the 200-year-old person. I'm telling you, it was amazing. But the band's in the tent, and there were no chairs, so I stood up. But John Dakota did a tremendous job. Paul Belay did a tremendous job. They made me so proud to be a Lowellian. I studied the people as I went through the crowd, and they were so happy, and the children. There was a magician on Palmer Street, did a card trick. I was baffled. He was amazing. Then in the tent was this woman, this young woman that did all these aerobics, and I said, oh my God, this is amazing. So, it was just so delightful. So people had a great time. So thank you very much. Are you saying the cake, or the replica of the cake, is somewhere in the city? Where is it? At the visitor center?
It's on the landing down below.
Is it downstairs in the lobby, and I missed it when I... Okay, so, and let me ask you, because people asked me who won the cake competition, but they didn't judge that yet, right? Oh, did they? Do we know who, or we can't say yet? Is that why?
Sweet Sugar Spice.
Sweet
Thank you, Mr.
Sugar
Mayor.
Spice.
Correct.
And where are they from? Where are they at?
Counselor
Their location?
Scott? Counselor Duran.
Oops. It's Sugar Sparks Bakery, and I guess they were originally in Nashua, but now also in Lowell. And I think it's more of a virtual bakery, as far as I can tell, but they deliver in both locations.
Okay. And did we have a soup competition?
We did.
Okay, because I have a pass to go in, but the line was so darn long, I couldn't cut anybody. So I went on 3 occasions, and each time the line was so long, I just didn't want to, push my way forward, so I didn't. So did we have a winner for the competition for the soup? Am I allowed to tell anybody?
Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, my apologies to the council. Ms. DeRoges, who has all this information, unfortunately is not with us this evening. And she had a whole rundown, didn't send it over to me, but I'll get it before the end.
Okay,
so
that's
we can
fine.
Appropriately congratulate all of the winners.
Yes, thank you so much. And all the participants, too. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Mercier. Counselor Dakota.
Thank you. I agree with Councilor Mercier. I wish that girl wasn't doing acrobatics because I kept on forgetting the words to the song. So, well done, Case. Peter Crew, his that was fantastic. But I think it really stood out to me is how respectful all the people were that were walking. And there were so many people there. And it was just a great family event. And kudos to your staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Dakota. Counselor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's not much to say that hasn't already been said, but it was a phenomenal day. And I see Mr. Fatacanti, if I said his name correct, I don't think I have yet. The rec department programming was phenomenal. The amount of high school kids running stands, the amount of kids and families that were playing, it was really something. There was something for everybody. My only complaint is that when I woke up on Sunday, I had to take Declan, my son, out for a walk because he demanded to go back outside, and we had to search all over downtown looking for all of the fun activities that were now gone. So, but other than that, but it was a phenomenal event. So thank you.
Manager Golan.
Thank you very much. When we ask, we'll definitely know. So, number 1, Sugar Sparks. Number 2, Good Time, and the number 3, Olympus Bakery. So they were the top 3 when it came to the desserts and desserts and cake and everything else from the cake bus. So.
Councilor Duran.
Thank you. I was able to find on the Facebook page for Lowell Winterfest the winners for the soup competition, which is my favorite event every year. The judges' choice, first place was Laos Thai Kitchen, second was Fork Included, and third was Trem Kaipira. And then the people's choice, first place was Purple Carrot, second Fork Included, and third Laos Thai Kitchen. And a great event. It was a wonderful day. We were very fortunate. And happy birthday to Lowell.
Thank you, Councilor Duran. If no one objects, I'd just like to say a couple things from here. I don't know how anybody judged any soup. It was all really good. And I think I gained about 20 pounds, as Councilor Chow just said, from eating the cake and the soup and everything and trying to get out of there. So, Councilor Chow, thank you for recognizing that. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Nuon, seconded by Councilor Robinson.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Robinson.
can I make a motion to suspend the rules and take 9.2, I believe it is, out of order?
Motion by Councilor Robinson to take 9.2 out of order, seconded by Councilor McDonough. 9.2 miscellaneous. Omar Abraham requests permission to address the City Council regarding police crash review and emergency vehicle protocol.
Good evening. My name is Omar. I'm a resident and a student at UMass.
Can you
Lowell.
just state your full name and your address just for the record so the
Oh, yeah. My full name is Omar Ibrahim, and my address is 191 Crawford Street.
Thank you.
On March 26, 2025, I entered the intersection at Middlesex and School Street on a green light near campus. A Lowell police cruiser struck my vehicle while proceeding through a red light. The impact totaled both vehicles and deployed airbags. Despite conflicting claims from the officer in the crash report, I was deemed at fault and not given any means to dispute. I'm here tonight because what happened to me was never independently reviewed, and I'm here because I want to ensure no student, pedestrian, or resident experiences what I did without transparency, accountability, and a clear process. This is not just about one crash. It's about emergency vehicle operations in dense neighborhoods, about independent review standards, and about maintaining public trust. There was no dash cam footage. There was no body cam footage of the crash. The only footage produced was approximately 30 seconds of video showing a senior officer instructing the involved officer how to turn their their body cam off after the scene. That fact alone raises questions. In 2016, nearly 70% of police vehicles nationwide were equipped with dash cams. When a serious collision produces no recorded footage, the public deserves to know why. I also received a warning citation for obstructing an emergency vehicle because it was only a warning. I was denied the ability to challenge it in court, yet it still impacted my insurance and financial liability. That contradiction matters. Days after the incident, I returned to the site to collect evidence that might be present. I encountered someone with ring camera footage of the police vehicle approaching the intersection, and it showed them turning off their sirens before you could hear the impact of the accident. I was also informed that the police already acquired this footage and never disclosed this to me. There was no independent reconstruction requested, no state police review, no traffic cameras pulled, no civilian witnesses documented, no explanation provided to me about what emergency the officer was responding to. As a self-supporting student, I lost my vehicle, incurred significant storage costs, withdrew from the semester, and now face increased insurance rate. But beyond my personal hardship, the larger issue remains clear. When independent evidence is absent and review standards are unclear, it makes public trust weaken. I also want to acknowledge Daniel Kennedy, who tragically lost his life after being struck by a police vehicle on campus last month. He was a retired firefighter re-enrolling at UMass Lowell with the intention of working with veterans and their mental health. My thoughts are with his loved ones and his family. His passing is a reminder that emergency vehicle operations in dense campus environments carry real risks and need to be addressed. I wish to work with the council to make a safer future for this city. We can't undo what's already been done, but we can work together to make sure it doesn't happen again. And some of my ideas to make sure this gets prevented is, one, ensuring that all police cruisers have dash cams and they're on during patrol. With no independent evidence, it makes situations like mine or future incidents murky and unclear. I also want to make clear policies on siren use and emergency light requirements, especially going through intersections and going against signals. It's something that we got to make straight and make sure that it's transparent so this doesn't happen anymore. Our community, especially our students and pedestrians, deserve systems that protect them, not processes that leave questions unanswered. Officers are entrusted with extraordinary authority. With said authority should come equal or higher levels of scrutiny. The same standard we ask for our residents should apply at minimum to those entrusted to protect them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham.
Mr. Mayor, since we're under suspension, can we take 6.3
One
out of order?
second, Councilor
sorry.
Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd make a motion that perhaps the Public Safety Subcommittee get together to discuss this kind of matter.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, that would be welcomed. Just today, Ms. Altman, Sergeant Q, Captain Fay, and the report that I'm getting, it just happened. 8 folks from the university have been discussing this. So maybe the subcommittee could host them, if that would be okay in the future. That's just a question that I would have for the council. UML has been really on top of this, obviously, and some of the things, the short-term fixes, as well as the signage and things of that nature. So if I could just add that if the council would like, maybe we can host the next meeting here, since UML hosted the first meeting today on campus. Just a thought.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Councilor Nuon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The subcommittee, as subcommittee chair of public safety, I would welcome the opportunity to have reviewed this and to have more discussion on this, as Councilor Durant has mentioned. So maybe after that meeting, both parties can come in, as well as the Mr. Omar Abraham can give comment on that as well. Thank you.
So there's a motion to send this to the Public Safety Subcommittee by Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Nuon. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered.
Once again, Mr. Mayor, if
Councilor
we could,
Dakota.
since we're under suspension of rules, could we take 6.3 out of order?
Motion by Councilor Dakota to take 6.3 out of order, seconded by Councilor Chow. 6.3, vote transfer 95,000 Lowell Regional Water Utility. Waive full reading and second reading by title. Vote to transfer funds from the water utility principal debt service account to support adequate overtime funding for the Lowell Regional Water Utility through the end of FY 2026. Any conversation? I just would like to state one thing. If Vice Mayor Nuon would like to come up to the podium for a minute, please.
I recognize Mayor Kachia. Go ahead.
Thank you, Council, and Vice Mayor Nuon. If we could have the Director of the Water and Wastewater come up to the mic, if he would, please.
He's coming.
Through you to Mr. Fox.
Yes. Go ahead.
I want to just say thank you. Over the last few years, we have been pushing back about the contractor costs and how absorbent it has been. It was like $850,000, and now we're looking at $95,000 transfer, but there's a savings of $700,000 roughly at this current time to make it through the end of the year. And it's because of the employees and your buy-in and your staff's buy-in that this is changing rapidly, where we're saving funds and not putting it on our debt services or other areas that just to get by. And would you comment on just how the savings are happening and the employees?
Mr. Falk? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So this has been a big push. It's been a big push from the administration, Assistant City Manager Machado, Commissioner St. Cyr, Director Pires, myself, to work with the team over at Water. And so they've stepped up, and what we've really tried to do was take work that was being done by contractors and do that in-house. And so in FY25, like you stated, we had $850,000 just in water main break repairs that were being done by contractors. In FY26, that number is $91,000. So we went from repairing 4 water main breaks in-house, 41 being repaired by contractors, to FY26, and we have done 21 so far. We're not even through the winter yet, with only 6 being contracted from outside. Also in FY25, For hydrants, there were 9 hydrants replaced, 6 by contractors. FY26, 0 by contractors and 27 by people in-house. And I think this is a demonstration to, like, the team over at Water and everybody working hard to make this happen and to not have to pay out against those, like I said, those contracted services. Like some of those go to capital funds, but instead to see that work being done in-house by the good people that work the utility.
Mr. Manager, want to add to it? Right.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager, I can wait for you.
Yeah, sure.
I think that this is an amazing turnaround in a short period of time. And sometimes as councilors, it's hard to sit here and push back at a place that you worked at and you're admired for so many years when you're seeing things wrong, but you want to make sure that employees and the staff buy in and we do things right for the residents. And I think that that's the change that's happened in the last year or so after we've pushed back for 2 to 3 years about this very issue and saying, you know, we really need a staff that wants to answer the call after hours and do these jobs that are not easy. You're in this weather right now, you see water main breaks happen. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Pires, but more so the staff. Because when they're answering the phones at midnight and it's freezing out and they're coming out and leaving their families, there's nothing harder to do in the world. And I want to thank them for that because at the end of the day, that's why we employ our city workers is to save our monies on one end and also reduce costs. And I want to thank you and your staff for that.
Council Scott, before I go to you, let me see if the manager want to add to it. Manager, anything to add? Council Scott, go ahead. Mr. Mayor, you can come back to your seat here. Podium. Mr.
Thank
Mayor,
you, Mr.
back here.
He wants you back. Oh, thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. So I would also just like to echo the mayor's sentiments about your hard work. Unfortunately, there's been way too much of it in South Lowell lately. I'd like to see less of it there, but I would just like to say that not only are they doing this hard work in-house, but they're also, you know, I'm getting calls from residents just to talk to me about how courteous they are, how professional they are. You know, they're just, I got a call today on Staveley Street, just how they explain the process. They were out there working their tails off, and I just want to thank all of them for their hard work as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. I just couldn't let this opportunity go by. This is something that the council has looked for in quite some time. And, you know, Mr. Pires is back with us after a short stint. I want to say thank you very much publicly to him. And, of course, to Aaron Fox, Assistant City Manager Machado. It's easier to talk about him when he's not here. And our commissioner, because this is something that this council really has wanted to do. And it has... I'm excited about it, to be quite frank with you. And I really see a lot of opportunity with the right hires. And publicly, we just want to say thank you very much, Mr. Fox, for all of your hard work day in and day out, as well as your entire team. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Motion to adopt by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Mayor Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Duran.
Yes.
Counsel Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
Yes.
Counsel Mercier.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
11 years.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Mercier.
while we're under suspension of the rules, could we take 7.1, the ordinance to amend the fees for the parks? I don't want to keep Peter Fatacanti here all night.
Motion by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor Noon to take 7.1 out of order. 7.1 ordinance, amend fee schedule parks. Give first reading. Motion to refer to a public hearing on March 17, 2026 at 7 p.m. by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor McDonough. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So ordered. Thank you, Peter. Going back to the original council sheet. 3, City Clerk, 3.1, minutes of the City Council, a regular meeting, February 24th, for acceptance. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Dakota, seconded by Councilor Chow. 4, City Council motions. 4.1, Councilor Robinson, Councilor Mercier. Request City Manager provide the City Council with a detailed report on the pathway to secure independent legal counsel of our choosing to review and advise concerns the council may have. No second needed. Councilor Mercier. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think over the course of time, different issues have popped up that I know my colleagues have mentioned that it'd be good to at least bounce off another set of ears to get advice. So can we use any of the funding, say, for some of the councilors that aren't eligible to collect their pay to be for a purpose like this, or any pathway you think would be feasible to fund something like this? It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Councilor Mercier.
With this motion, I was honored to have supported it because I firmly believe that sometimes we need another set of eyes to look a little bit more carefully. I know I'm not disputing what the law department says, but they're government attorneys. I think there's people out there that at times are needed because they're professional and they excel in a specific aspect of being an attorney. You wouldn't ask a real estate attorney to look at something that doesn't involve properties and things like that. If you can follow what I'm saying, there's many types of a litigation attorney, there's all kinds, so I want to know when anything arises that we're concerned about, if we could have an independent set of eyes. And the reason I say this is, for example, I'll give you an example. The Smith-Baker Center, many of us, well, some of us here were not supportive of the Smith-Baker Center. The answer was, let's tear it down. But my philosophy was, maybe I need a professional person to go look at that can know if it's structurally sound. And we learned that it was structurally sound, and it changed a lot of my colleagues' thoughts about it. That's why we had an expert opinion that the foundation was pretty good, and so now people are going to be revamping that. This is the same situation, not specific to anything here, but in case something arises where we need a professional to take a look at it that excels in what the specific topic is about. That's just the gist of why I think this motion is important. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did do a little bit of homework here and did speak with a couple of friends that are real estate lawyers. And they, I know for the people that watched Inside Lowell, and I believe it was Attorney Emerson that was on Inside Lowell, and she thought the cost would probably be between $20,000 and $30,000. The legal teams that I spoke with brought it near like $80,000 to $100,000 if we're going to look at it somewhere like in a Boston firm or something like that. So that made me hesitant. But they also told me that they don't believe that the City Council has the authority to approve this. And they gave me a Section 39. And if you don't mind, Mayor, if I could read just a little bit of this. Thank you. The City Council shall not directly or indirectly take part in the employment of labor, the purchase of material, the construction, alteration, or repair of any public works or other property, or in the care, custody, or management of the same, or in general in the expenditure of public money, or in the conduct of the executive or administrative business of the city, except as may be necessary for defraying the contingent and incidental expenses of the City Council, nor shall it take part in the making of the contracts. I thought that was quite interesting, and I do want to ask City Solicitor, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Williams, but what I'm saying, does that make any sense at all?
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, it does.
It does. Okay, I guess then my next question would be, maybe through the city manager, where do we go from here if that's in fact the will of this body? Where do the monies come from in order to do something like this?
Manager Golden.
Or the CFO, it doesn't matter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. We would take this in, to be honest, and figure out how to do it if it can be done. I think we'd also have to look at our charter. As most of the councilors know, we don't always prep each individual motion prior to. If you could give us a week to look at this, because I do think this could run afoul of the charter, which would be a question that we would answer and have it recognize that and answer the motion. I think that could be an opportunity, if that's okay with the council.
I'm looking forward to the reply. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dakota. Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the kind of issues or reason why we probably need this motion. It's another resource, especially for newbies like me. There's a lot of things going on out there that every time after the council meeting, there's always certain issues, certain questions would come up, and as a new councilor, it's really hard to find resources or people to go to. There's a lot of things out there inside Lowell, and there's a lot of social medias and whatnot going out there, but this motion is, to me, it's important. It's something to actually justify or to find the real answers to, so that at least I can understand and keep learning what's going on. I think a retainer like this is really important, and I really support this. Thank you.
Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. Whatever was read really doesn't apply here. We're talking about independent legal counsel that the council can bounce and get advice and consultation from. It's not drafting contracts. It's not doing any of that. When I first got elected, I filed a motion to try to move the solicitor's office to underneath the council through a home rule petition. And we were informed that's a change in the charter, but the council had every right to get an attorney on retainer for anything that we wanted consultation on. And that's what we're looking for here. So all of that pre-planned 39, whatever chapter, I think as a collective body, we have every right to get a legal opinion on something that we want to bounce off of them. It's not asking somebody to draft or draw or anything that's going to interfere with the daily operations. If the council has a question or a concern, we would have an attorney that's independent of the city of Lowell that we could get advice from. And then we as a collective would then have the opportunity to proceed accordingly. And I would ask for a roll call on this motion, please. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Chow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, if Councilor Rita Mercier's comments related to the previous speaker, I would defer to her first, so you wouldn't lose your connection to what the previous speaker was saying. So I don't mind referring to you first if you would like.
Councilor Mercier.
The only one question, one thought I want to reiterate again, and I don't agree with that we don't have the right to hire an independent person or whatever. Didn't we ask the manager to do that with the Smith Baker Center? We asked him, because if that report came back that the foundation was structurally unsound, and as much as I wanted to save it, I would have moved to demolish it. I'm not going to sell that off to someone and have it be putting all this money into it with the foundation that's not good. I'm not an expert here. I'm not a lawyer here. And even if I were a lawyer, maybe I'm not a lawyer that oversees retail or contracts or construction or whatever. That's why it's important, unless the message to the public out there is we were voted in as city councilors and I know it all. I don't know it all. That's why I'm asking, and if we could afford to have an independent person come and check out the Smith-Baker Center. Where did that money come from? It came from somewhere. What is the problem with asking my colleagues, can we have an independent person, not specifically for one particular thing, but whatever could arise that we need an opinion on? That's all I want to say. I don't think it's rocket science here. I don't think so.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the two make of the motions and my colleagues' previous comments. Just for clarification, this motion is to ask for a detailed report on the pathway. This is to explore possibilities of obtaining independent counsel when the time arises. So I think it's important to have a report for us to explore possibility, because you never know when a time would arise. I was actually, basically, you don't want to be in a situation where the house is on fire, the building's on fire, then you ask for where the exit is. I was involved in a similar situation when I chaired the school committee with a situation where we tried to get an independent counsel, and it was issues that need immediate attention. It was a public discussion. So we were not prepared, and the end result of that, it did cost the city over $100,000 for that, to get the report and so forth. So we're not there over here on this side. I think this motion does. It's prepare us for a situation like that to come up. And this is not necessarily say that we are going to do it, but it's better to have a pathway, to have detailed steps and process to do it if we need to. I understand that we have a very competent legal team. The solicitor and his legal team always, put the best step forward, do all the research, and many times during their council meeting would happen very tough questions, and the solicitor always provide us answers, and if there was not sufficient, I understand the solicitor would seek independent consultation also, and on that point, from previous meetings, I understand that when situations happen, especially when it was directed from the city council, the solicitor's office already seeking independent counsel, for example, from KP Law. So through you, Mr. Mayor, to the city solicitor, Mr. Solicitor, in what situations, let me just backtrack a little bit for the public out there who may not have followed the meetings before. Is the office currently using outside counsel now, and from what purpose and in what situation would you reach out to independent counsel?
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's not something that we use all that often, but we do have, KP Law, formerly known as Copeland and Page, at our disposal for whether, I think previously with the council, it's been a specific request to reach out and get a second opinion, or other times that there's a certain niche area of law that the 7 attorneys upstairs weren't comfortable looking at, we would reach out to KP Law to ask them questions. It doesn't happen very often, but it's available if needed.
Wonderful. And from just to follow up on that question, again, through you, Mr. Mayor, to the solicitor, when the council asks you to seek a second opinion on something or ask for something that you may not have an expert staff for, how do you determine when to go to outside counsel? Is this KP Law is the only counsel that you seek, and why would that be?
Solicitor Williams.
I suppose it would depend on the situation. Like I said, those situations are few and far between. Like I said, with all 7 of us up there, between the group, between the team, that doesn't happen very often. If it did, we'd meet. One of them would come to me and say, hey, I think we might want to reach out to KP Law, see if they have someone that specializes in this particular area. We haven't had to go outside of KP Law, at least in the recent years that I can remember, for anything specific that we weren't comfortable handling upstairs or something that we wanted to ask further up questions on. But if we needed to, KP Law is there.
Thank you. It really sounds like the managers, administrations, and the solicitor already seeking independent counsel on various situations. So this is something that it's been going on already. So, for this motion, I will support it just to see if, maybe even to support the administration and your office as well, Mr. Solicitors, like if in a situation where you might have to seek secondary opinion or outside counsel, I think this report come back would provide the steps and the basis for seeking that independent counsel. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Chow. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I actually was going to state very similar points as Councilor Sakari Chow. I am also going to support this motion. It's asking for a pathway to secure independent counsel. That would be great to know what the pathway is, whether or not we're allowed to. I also feel questioning, I guess, about why we need outside counsel. We have a 7-person staff that's funded with $2.9 million of taxpayers' funds. We should have confidence in that staff. The manager is responsible for that staff. If we have concerns, I would suggest we reach out to the manager if that's where this stems from. We've had workman's comp claims that have been resolved, the Lopoli contract, the senior center. These were all things that were past issues that are being repaired by our current city law department. So I would just highlight that. I'm just not sure of the need. $2.9 million, as I said, we're already paying that. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Scott. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I understand every municipality's charter is different and the material whatever. They vary, and I am open to the fact that they vary. To assuage, hopefully, some of my colleagues' concerns, I do want to just point out that there are several municipalities in Massachusetts whose elected bodies have obtained independent legal counsel. The 2 at the top of my list are Fall River and Gardner. Gardner actually wound up overriding their mayor's veto to get theirs. And the city of Cambridge Cambridge is one of the other 2 planning cities in Massachusetts. And Worcester also went through this fight, but I found Cambridge's legal brief from their city solicitor first. And the city of Cambridge did not wind up getting independent legal counsel. This was back in 2021. However, in the brief to the council, their city solicitor cited Chapter 43, Section 105, that if the city manager were to recommend and appropriate funds for the purpose, that the council would be able to then use those funds to hire an independent lawyer. That city manager did not do that, and I don't know much about Cambridge, but I do know I think that fight continued. But there is a path. I believe there could be a path available, and so I'm hopeful that we'll get a positive response here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. Councilor Nuon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. When this motion is slightly different than what Councilor Chow was talking about, I know that in the past we had, the law department had went out to outside counsel for help on cases that law department is handled, right, criminal cases and stuff like that, because some of their staffers maybe not be expert in those areas. And I remember when City Solicitor O'Connor was here, sitting right where Mr. Williams had on that. But this is slightly different in the sense that this motion, Councilor Robinson and Councilor Mercier, asking for an independent legal counsel. So the motion really asking for a report or detailed report, a pathway how to do it, and if we can do it, tell us how to do it. Tell us how to do that, right? So simply that didn't say that we have to go to we have to look for independent counsel to do this, but give us a report. Is there a pathway to do that? If so, how? The next step is that I know I heard Councilor Scott mention as well, is that I agree with Councilor Scott on that note that when and why that discussion can be had when that time arrives, right? If there's an issue, say, for example, we just had senior center issue, right? Honestly, this motion I support, but the outside counsel and senior center, I would not. Independent counsel, right? So that's when the time, why and when discussion had already the last council meeting, right? So with this motion going forward, I would support this motion looking at this case-by-case basis. It's not like every case you go to outside counsel because we don't have the money to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nuon. Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me be clear. I respect Councilor Mercier's and Councilor Robinson's comments. I absolutely do. But I directly asked the city solicitor, our city solicitor, if this was legal. And he said, no, this was against the charter. So I would ask my colleagues to push this off a week, the city manager for 1 week to look into this, to see if this is against the charter. And then let's vote for it next week. I'm not against going outside counsel. I'm not. But I want to make sure it's legal. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Attorney Williams, did you say that was against the charter? I didn't. Attorney Williams, did you say that it was against the charter? Just for a point of clarification?
If I'm remembering correctly, Councilor Dakota read Section 39 from the charter, and he asked me if that sounded about right, and I agreed.
Okay. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. Again, I think this further points out exactly why this council needs independent legal consultation when we have questions. We've been told in the past multiple times, the 25% residency in apprenticeship requirement, it's illegal, you can't do it, other communities have it. Time and time again. Now, asking for independent legal counsel is illegal? You're telling one of my colleagues it's illegal? Like, this, I cannot emphasize more why this council needs independent legal counsel that's separate from the administration function, period. I mean, and what is the need? The need is when we all ran, we swore we would do our due diligence for the taxpayers. We're not getting independent legal advice. We're being told from the city solicitor that it's illegal to ask for outside independent legal counsel. And one of my colleagues just said it on the record. So I think that further, and I'm not saying whether or not the solicitor said that or not, I'm saying what my colleague said. That highlights exactly the need of this motion. And I hope, I don't want to put this off. I'm asking for a roll call tonight on this.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I would like to correct what you just said, because Councilor Dakota asked me in the context of whether or not the city council hiring an outside attorney violates the city charter. And my answer was yes, it was not. Is it illegal to get a report, to seek further advice as to whether or not you can or cannot? That is not what was said. There is a big difference.
I don't know what that conversation happened. I can only go off of what my colleague said on the floor.
Right here.
Solicitor finish his piece. Okay, Councilor Robinson.
I'm only referring to what my colleague said on the floor. I have no idea what conversation you and Councilor Dakota had. It didn't just happen. Councilor Dakota said, I spoke to the solicitor.
We just have a point of order. This is going nowhere.
Yeah.
Councilor Mercier, please.
I just have one last question through you, Mr. Mayor, to the city solicitor. Mr. Attorney Williams, on your 7-member team, is there any attorney up there that is a certified title examiner?
Solicitor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, there is not a certified title examiner.
Right, right.
They have those work for the land court.
That's why I say this motion should be supported. Sorry.
Could I just state something to council? If we're going to ask someone a question, can we please let them finish their answer before we
Sorry,
jump
go
back
ahead.
in? I just think it's fair to both parties, that's all. Solicitor Williams? Okay. Councilor Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to highlight that because you disagree with the attorney's opinion, doesn't make the attorney's opinion incorrect. The 25% residency requirement, I remember it explicitly that he read what the law is. If other towns did it and decide to break the law, then that's their decision. And he advised us that we can do what we want to do. It's his interpretation of the law. but he did give you advice to do what you want to do. I went back and read it, and it's clearly what the law states. And that's the same with, some of these other discussions that we've been having. The law is the law. He interprets the law. If you don't agree with it, then vote against it. Do what you want to do. But I'm not sure why you need to bring in another attorney who we're probably going to pay for to tell you the same thing, because the law is the law. Thank you.
Councilor Nuon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilor Robinson won the roll call before I say a few words here. Appreciate that, Councilor Robinson. I, like Councilor Chow, support this motion simply because this motion asks for, is there a pathway, right? Give me a report and tell me how, right? It didn't say I'm going to hire an independent counsel for, like Councilor Mercier said, title examiners or whatever that is. That time will come. If say, it's done, next council meeting, motion to do with that, particularly with the senior center, I will not support that. For now, I do. Thank you.
Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to take a second to recognize how much work the city solicitor and the city solicitor's office is asked to do, because it is an obscene amount of work. I know every week we get these packets, and at the back of the packet there are any number of petitions that we as a council almost always bundle and refer to the law office, and sometimes we see them again, and usually we don't. But that is where the city solicitor and his department work. We had an executive session with the litigation briefing and not talking about it at all, but I mean, every February we get it. There are a lot. Because of that, just another reason here to highlight what I think is the importance of having outside counsel available to the city council is, in addition to all of that work, the general administrative and legal work that it takes to manage a city, is matters of consulting with the city council on any number of issues that come before us from the manager or from anywhere else, but also when we want to propose new ordinances and are trying to figure out how to get the language right. And I think Councilor Scott, you were at, and Councilor Duran, as private citizens, we were at the planning board yesterday, and I think we saw another reason that having independent counsel available to us, or some sort of point person available to us, would be helpful. As I mean, it looks like we're gonna, and this is for next meeting, but we're gonna wind up with a whole slew of revisions to this ordinance from the planning board in order to address a number of concerns that were raised at the first and the second meeting of the city council and by citizens, and that is not at all in any way a knock at Solicitor Williams or his department. I think they have a lot of work to do, and I think this is just a way to try and take some of that off the plate and make sure that the council is not eating into the law department's time with every other facet of running a legal department in the city of Lowell. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in response to that as well. So the planning board is an independent body. So if they wanted a legal review, then they should have asked to have an attorney there. So the city cannot even send, I don't think, our attorney there without them asking. In regards to the overabundance of work, the city manager runs the city under Plan E. We don't run the city. So if they needed help in the legal department, they would ask for it through the budget. So for us just to say we're trying to help you by adding more outside staff, I mean, if we have an issue with something, an opinion, and we want to find out, we want to go that path and get 6 people, however many we need now, to vote for an outside attorney, then we can do it. But I just don't hear anything except reasons, kind of excuses for why we're doing this. If we don't support the manager and the solicitor, then we should just say it. Thank you.
Councilor Liang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we were spending a lot of time about everything else but the motion itself. I think this motion is just simple. It's basically just find a report, do a report, whether it is possible or not. That's it. There's nothing else in here that would say A, B, C, or D. It's just that, is it possible? So just a detailed report on a pathway to see whether we can secure an independent counsel. That's it. Am I right?
Motion to move the question.
There's a motion to move the question on the floor, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
No.
I didn't hear it.
He said no.
Mayor Gitchia.
Yes.
Counsel Duran.
Yes.
Counsel Liang.
Yes.
Counsel McDonough.
Yes.
Counsel Mercier.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
10 yeas.
Motion passes. 4.2, Councilor Mercier. Request the mayor and city manager invite men's 2026 Olympic gold medal winner Connor Hellebuyck, UML former player and graduate, and women's 2026 Olympic gold medal winner Haley Winn, Boston Fleet player, to the city council meeting to be recognized and presented with a citation and a key to the city, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Councilor Mercier.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to amend my motion to include two more women, Erin, A-E-R-I-N, Frankel, F-R-A-N-K-E-L, a goalie, Megan Keller, K-E-L-L-E-R, defenseman, to join Haley Winn, another defenseman, and include all three ladies. All three of these ladies were Fleet players who were the women's hockey gold medalist team members, and they played their home games at the Songus. So I don't want to just include Haley and not the other two, so that would be fair. And so
Motion to amend by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Councilor Mercier.
Okay, thank you so much. Connor Hellebuyck graduated from UMass Lowell. He played 2 seasons for UMass Lowell Riverhawks, where he was recognized for his outstanding performance, including winning the inaugural Mike Richter Award as the top goaltender in college hockey. Haley Winn trains and represents the Lowell-based professional teams, along with the other two, the goalie and the other defenseman, which plays at the Songus Center. I'm very honored to present this. Connor Hellebuyck finished with the best stats of any goaltender at the Olympics. He stopped long-distance slap shots. He rejected close-range wrist shots. He stopped breakaways. He led the Riverhawks to the Hockey East title as a freshman with a tense win over Boston University. Connor was number 37. He's an Olympic gold medal winner, defeating Canada in the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy on Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. His time at UMass Lowell was memorable. He led the Riverhawks to the Frozen Four in Pittsburgh, and his team was an outstanding goal away from playing the national championship. The 32-year-old Hellebuyck has already won the Vezina Trophy, given to the National Hockey League's top goaltender 3 times. The pride of UMass Lowell was also named the Hart Trophy Award winner as the top player in the National Hockey League. The win for the U.S. was a long time coming since the Miracle on Ice in 1980, 46 years ago. So I'm honored if we could bring them here and honor them. I'd be happy to do that if you could.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. All those in favor signify, I'm sorry. Manager Golden.
Yep, sorry about that. Mr. Mayor, 3 to the council. Councilor Mercier, yes, we're working on this. We're actually working with the Merrimack Valley Convention and Visitors Bureau, even try to get hold of these folks. So
that's
it's a great idea. We will continue to move forward, and I hope it's going to happen as well.
Yes, thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 4.3, Councilor Nuon, request the city manager work with DPD to reinstall Cambodia-Town flag along Middlesex Street, seconded by Councilor Chow. Councilor Nuon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion speak for itself. I think Assistant City Manager Giovanni by Roses and the managers know how to get it done. So the New Year is coming up, the 16th anniversary of Cambodian New Year at the Park Clemente. Roberto Clemente Park is starting April 18. So, yeah, we can work on that. I'm more than happy to help what I can do to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Nuon. Councilor Yang.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since you mentioned Cambodia-Town, and I think Cambodia-Town stretched from Middlesex toward Wilders and then Chelmsford, right? So my question is that is there a way you can look at Branch and Chelmsford as well to see whether it's possible to do that, especially Branch Street, it's right inside the economic zone itself. So it, basically it's stretched toward, I think it's Wilder. So just see if you can add Branch and Chelmsford to that.
Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilors, if we could take this offline just to figure out exactly where, because we've been getting very good at changing out signs and flags and whatnot. Hopefully everyone's noticed the downtown with the turnover we've had. Some of that equipment is not exactly as easy to get done, but if it's for April 18th, we definitely want to make that happen. So if the Assistant City Manager can speak to everybody that's interested after this, we'll find out exactly how to get that done and order this up and make sure it happens prior to April 18th, correct? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 4.4, Councilor McDonough, request the City Council discuss city policy surrounding implementation of parking bans for special events, seconded by Councilor Mercier. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm almost a little bit nervous to be positive after, but I want to start by saying I think that this was overall a very successful parking ban in the run up to the special event. I think the special event being Winterfest was an absolute banger. I think that council motions are due before we knew just how successful it was, and a number of businesses had reached out with some concerns about the time that the parking ban had started on Friday. But by Sunday, most of those businesses were pretty happy with how much business they had on Saturday. The only growing pain that I wanted to bring up, and the reason I didn't put any point on this motion is because I don't really know what the solution is. I just wanted to make sure I voiced it, because I was asked to, is on Middle Street. The drive-through, there is a business that is really reliant on drive-through business in the morning with a quick Middle Street, right? Yeah, no. Cobblestone Street, Middle, yeah, it is Middle Street. One day I'll learn all my streets. It's Palmer. It is Palmer, right? Palmer, thank Coffee Mill. Palmer Street. Yes. They get the 15-minute parking, but the road had closed really early, so they were aware of the parking ban, but I think there was a little bit of I don't know if there's a miscommunication on whose end. And then some of the restaurants on Merrimack Street had just expressed a little bit of hesitation about missing out on some of their delivery orders on a Friday, because that's when they are able to move a lot of old merchandise. But honestly, by Sunday and then today, everybody was so thrilled with how much business they did on Saturday. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it here, so thank you.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. I've just started off with saying we try not to answer these, so I apologize. Some of these are happening in real time. I would encourage Council McDonough and I have talked about parking in businesses and trying to get the residents involved down there. You're absolutely right. How do you answer this and how do you make it happen? That's a trick because most people are happy with it and then they're not. But as far as special events, I'm going to push Mr. Skinner that works on our staff to make sure that we meet with the business community as well as the residential community to have these discussions. It is something that is just constant communication. Typically, when we do a parking ban for a special event as such, it's because of what we have loading in, trying to fully anticipate who has deliveries at what time is a little bit of a challenge. So we can definitely get better at that, but I'll be speaking with Mr. Skinner to make sure we bring that together, and obviously Councilor McDonough and any other councils would be interested to have that discussion about how to get that accomplished.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Seeing no one else, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 4.5, Councilor McDonough requests the city manager work with the appropriate department to promptly review all current leases agreements between the City of Lowell and private landlords, and to advise the council of any necessary actions to safeguard the interest of the city. Seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this motion almost speaks for itself. I think we're running into a number of sins of the past, and as has been discussed at many a council meeting at this point. I also, in reviewing some of the leases currently on file, it looks like a few of them are coming up. At least one of them is coming up in the next couple of months, and just making sure that the city is secure in their position going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McDonough. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 4.6, Councilor McDonough requests the Auditor, Clerk, Oversight, and Personnel Subcommittee meet to review policy, priorities, and initiatives of these departments. Seconded by Councilor Mercier. Councilor McDonough.
Motion speaks for itself.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? So ordered. 6, communications. 5, communications. 5.1, motion response. 2025-2026 local election funding. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Rosenberry and Mr. Golden for this response, but can you take it back? It doesn't include, I was looking more for also, I know we're paying organizations for voter engagement to go out there and do voter engagement. In the past we have. No, this is the complete list, so no other organizations have received funding for voter engagement or any of that?
Manager Golden.
Councilor, no, I don't believe that is the case. I mean, I definitely will take it back and ask again and bring it back, but we specifically asked for nonprofits, if any of the nonprofit monies, but that would come through CFO, and we're pretty confident. But if for some reason there's a thought process that we're missing one of the nonprofits, please let us know, but I don't think that's the case. I'll gladly take it back and double check it and bring it back next week.
If you don't mind, thank you.
5.1, motion response B, parking CSO projects. Councilor McDonough, Councilor Robinson. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the manager and also to Aaron Fox, if he's still here. This is phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you to the manager. Thank you to Mr. Fox, Mr. Ryan, and anybody else who had any part in putting this response together. This is, I don't know that I could have asked for much more. I'm sure now I'm going to get an email. This is what you forgot to ask about something, but it is detailed. I really appreciate it, and I want to make sure I call attention to it because people watching at home don't always read these attachments. I am particularly happy with the piece about anyone who currently has a parking placard getting 2 years at no cost themselves if their parking is impacted. And I also really appreciate the attention being made to make sure that we're going to continue providing access to the homes of anyone with mobility issues, because this is a serious amount of construction in a very hilly part of the city. So thank you.
Councilor Robinson.
Again, I echo my colleague's sentiments. I know this is going to be, again, as we were just talking, even with parking. it's a matter of communication, and I think you have a great team that's stationed in position to lead the charge on this. I know that the neighborhood group, they've been super informative. I love how they're planning on putting a trailer on the job site to answer questions as we go. They've been working with the neighborhood group to try to flex staging areas, so far so good. I mean, I know it's going to be major disruption, but I'm glad to see we're trying to key in on the small pieces as well as the large pieces, because again, any mitigation of inconvenience we can address, I think is going to be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilors, thank you very much. This is going to be challenging. Okay? This is really going to be challenging. We want to just try to keep all the tempers where they hopefully it's going to be very hard when we start hitting Bunker Hill and when we start hitting Lakeview Ave. This is going to be a real challenge, Councilor, predominantly in your neighborhood, and somewhat extent to Councilor McDonough. But so we try to encourage people to make sure that they're paying attention to the Facebook. I can't believe I just said that. To Facebook, to Facebook, as well as our websites and everything else. We have put out a mailer that just hit all of 01850, which I was glad to see that everybody has really received it. People are really responding, but please keep the information coming. And I want to say thank you very much to our communications teams, Mr. Fox, and the whole team for really getting this pushed out. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Dakota, seconded by Councilor McDonough. 5.1C, motion response to staging area CSO projects. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. As I just mentioned, the staging area piece, I think Mr. Fox and his team have been more than welcoming to ideas and suggestions to try to minimize disruption. I think that was a smart move by kind of looking at Hovey Park due to the leagues that permit that and have invested their own time and money in that. I just caution whatever we can do to try to mitigate. I mean, we have a brand new 3 courts over there at St. Louis. We have the playground that's brand new. So whatever we can do to minimize impacting the little bit of traffic, parking that is available over there, please, let's do it by all means. I also have reached out to one of the developers in the neighborhood to see if he'd be willing to work with the city to possibly use some of his property for a staging area. I know it's multi-phase project that he's working on. I'm not sure timeframes, but anything we can do to look at it, again, with the splash park potentially finishing up, the playground, the basketball courts, to stick all that equipment over in that area where we're bringing a bunch of kids and families is going to be tricky, but I understand we're stuck for land for this to happen. So I guess we'll continue the conversations, and again, I think Mr. Fox and his team has been more than accommodating, so I look forward to continue working with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor McDonough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager and probably on to Aaron Fox. But I missed the Centerville meeting because of the planning board meeting, and a resident had reached out looking for an answer to this question. They were at the meeting, but they left confused, and I have Aaron Fox, so I just want to see if I can get it clarified. On 406 West 6th Street, which is St. Louis Park in the parking area, just looking for a little bit more information on how the construction equipment and related material is moving in, moving out, and being accessed. There were some concerns both on the parking front, but then also on losing any of the trees or the sound barrier. I don't know why that would be impacted, but the question was asked, and I want to make sure I ask.
Director Fox.
Yeah, so Council, you're referring to the trees and sound barrier at the end of Vincent Street. So I'd like to introduce Dave Danzy. He's our project manager. And so he's our project manager for the construction. He works with CDM, who's ushered through 2 very successful sewer separation projects here in the city. And so when it comes to the construction details, I think it'd be good for him to, if you want to come up and describe like how they're going to accomplish that.
Thank you, Councilman. So to respond to a question on
Could you
West
just
6th Street.
restate your name for the record, please?
Sure. David Tansley from CDM Smith. Responding to the question on West 6th Street, we did talk about that last night at the Centralville Neighborhood Group Association meeting, and we left that meeting saying in the field we would follow up with our contractor, Albanese and CDM and the utility, and try to mitigate any of their concerns with the shrubs and the sound barrier in that area, and try to leave that and use West 6th Street as the entrance to that area as opposed to Vincent. So we did hear his concerns and are looking to address that. You're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Manager.
I am doing way too much talking tonight, Mr. Mayor. I apologize for you to the council. This is actually a plea. We're trying to work with Cody Field as well, some of the parking that Councilor Robinson had brought up. And I want to ask the family of the Cody family, which I'm trying to track down, that the field is named after over there off of the St. Louis field. If anyone's listening and they say, yes, that's the Cody family we know, if I could just simply ask if you could call my office, 978-674-4402. We want to discuss things that may happen, could happen. This is extremely important to us to make sure that everybody feels heard and listened to, especially when their family field could be impacted. So that's an ask to anybody. I've got my own feelers out. We're trying to get a hold of those families, just given the fact of the amount of lay-down space that we need, and we're trying to keep as much traffic and cooler heads. It's going to be kind of a wild ride for a couple of years. So, thank you.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor Duran. 5.1D, motion response, state earmark for Gage. Councilor Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And through you to the city manager, thank you for this report. Thank you, I appreciate it. And just to let the people know, I'll make sure that Councilor Elliott gets this report as well. But it seems like he had an expressed desire that the funds be directed towards improvements to the soccer fields at Gage Field, and the city is fully supportive of that, as well as the monies that are left will be restricted solely for the use of Gage Field, and that was the intention of it, and that's where it's going to be. So thank you so much for the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Mercier. Last night at the Centerville Neighborhood Committee meeting also came up as a sewer line running to the bathroom, and while they had mobilization for the combined sewer separation, could they use some monies to do that, tie in that bathroom before they did the topsoil of the soccer field? So that was a question that came up also. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I've raised this concern quite a bit, and I think, we have a couple options. Whether the sewer line runs from the existing concession stand, which I think is a long run and it's very expensive, but then we also have the little green cinder block building up towards Beacon, which would be a much shorter run. And if we stubbed everything from the main on Beacon to where that green cinder blocked building, that's storage right now near the courts, that would give us a means in the near future to put in a seasonal restroom, so to say, that would have shut-off valves that you could winterize and shut down for the season. Again, basketball courts, soccer fields, baseball fields, softball fields, all of those activities going on up there, volleyball courts, and there's no restroom facility to be found. Same thing at St. Louis. We're looking at a splash park, new playground, basketball courts, every other improvement that we're working on. But again, you're going to have families with young children going into a water park with no changing room or restroom facility. So I think those are some of the things we really have to look at those two locations. And I think Mayor Gitchie is correct. If we do have a team working on sewer work in the neighborhood, can we look to at least stubbing everything and then finding a funding mechanism to install a seasonal restroom facility up there? I think would be a wise use of that money. Thank you.
Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Councilor, if it's okay with you, I'd like to task Mr. Fox with looking at it either at what I'm going to call as Finn Field or the Wayland Field, which is the other, if that's okay, just to find out what the costs are on either end.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fox. Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Dakota. 5.1, motion response E, Rook Bridge 30-degree HD 24-hour camera. Thank you, Mr. Manager, and if hopefully we get something back to, thank you. Thank you. Motion speaks for itself. Motion to accept and place on file, seconded by Counsel Duran, seconded by Counsel McDonough. 5.1, motion F, Parkinson Awareness Bridge Lighting. Again, thank you, Mr. Manager. Motion to accept and place on file, Counsel Duran, seconded by Counsel Liang. 5.2, information reports. Bourne Street update. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and through the council. This is something that is happening. We have, I think, sparked a new discussion, or a better discussion, to make this happen. I know that Mr. Fox is here to answer any of the questions, but we are looking at Bourne Street in a different light. I know this was, I think it should have been done in 2020, as was brought forth by Councilor Scott, but we're going to try to get this mitigation for the municipal drainage area. We've had a discussion with Markley, and it seems as though it's going in the right direction, and I want to credit Mr. St. Cyr and Mr. Fox for making those discussions happen. It pretty much speaks for itself from the Bourne Street update, and I know that I've been talking to Councilor Scott about this at length. So any questions or concerns, we're here to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Counsel Scott.
Thank you. Yes, we have been talking about this an awful lot, but I did have a question. I guess it's probably for Aaron Fox. So in 2020, and I had sent this on to you, I believe, the planning board received a document from Dave Fuller, and it said, I hope I don't cough during this, but I was told by Richard White, construction project manager, that the brick wall that lines the Bourne Street side of the property in places will be removed, and the landscaping in its place will ensure that the water drainage off of Bourne Street will drain into the Markley property. The drainage system is in the large retaining wall recently built, will disperse the water so that it can be absorbed properly to avoid any erosion on the Markley property. So I guess my question is, was that not ever done at that time, or did that just not work? And now, I mean, I understand it's the city's drainage, it's our issue on the street, but it sounds like they were making a representation at that time that this was not going to be an issue.
Yeah,
Dr. Fox. Dr. Fox.
Yeah, so that particular email I'll have to get back to you on. I'm not super familiar with that one from 2020. But yes, there was no connection provided at that time. And so what they've done now is, and they've already built it, is they've put in a couple manholes and they've brought to the right-of-way a 12-inch connection for us to tie in, essentially separating that street to tie a drain line in to their existing system.
I guess to me it just sounded like there was a representation at that time that it was happening back then, and it never did. That was what I got from that letter, but I'm glad we're moving forward at this point in time. Thank you.
Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Chow, seconded by Councilor Duran. 5.2, information reports. Douglas Road storage tank update. Manager Golden.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Through to the council. Council, this is just another opportunity. We've always talked about department heads coming forward and kind of giving you all the information that they have. This is nothing more than that update. Douglas Road flood relief is going in the right direction. It's important for everybody to know what was happening a few years back with raw storage popping up on people's streets, et cetera, into houses. I think that once again, Mr. Fox, as well as the entire crew and team over there, along with our DPW folks, really did yeoman's work to something that is not easy work. But with what we have going on right now, we have a $14 million project going on. We're hoping that it'll be completed by this year, October of 2026. And just for the edification of the residents, it looks as though that spring of 2027, right around the corner, if you really want to think about it, for the first time in a long time, that Colley Stadium area will be redeveloped. The roadway, the parking area will it'll be something we'll be proud of. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Fox for bringing this forward. And this is exactly one of those ideas, once again, that we had with bringing our department heads forward to say, this is everything we're doing. We anticipate in seeing Mr. Fox, of course, any other time there's something asked of him, but probably in the next 4 to 6 months to do a recap of everything that's happening. So any questions, thoughts, concerns that the council has, please feel free.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Councilor Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the entire team for this project. I know it's been a long time coming. I would recommend that anybody in District 3 or who has any interest in it, read the report and really look at the photos. I think it's a nice history of the project and one that will be good to keep in our city records. But thank you again.
Thank you, Councilor Duran. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Mercier. 5.2, information reports. Phase 3, Duck Island. Mr. Manager.
Well, once again, thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to the council. Once again, this is an opportunity for the public to know what's happening over at Duck Island. I mean, we were awarded the $27.8 million, and as it's saying, Mass Clean Water Trust, including $4.15 million in principal forgiveness and favorable interest loans. This is an opportunity, once again, for us to talk about the investments that we're making to upgrade our plant. This is extremely positive for all of us. Anybody in the Centerville section of the city, or even the Belvedere section of the city, sometimes throughout the typically the summer months, we have to deal with an odor that is a little less than desirable. I think that's the way to say it. But with Mr. Fox and once again the team, this is something that we're moving forward, and we're hoping that phase 3 of this, which will be working for us, if you had an opportunity to look through with some of the photos in the back, the dewatering process to eliminate one of the rental controls, and something, the installation of the sludge garage door to reduce the odor. Once again, another positive piece that we're moving in the right direction. This is all stuff that in some aspects have been denied over the years, but this is something we're moving forward. So once again, if the council has any questions, Mr. Fox is here on the technical side of what is happening, but it really shows that we're paying attention for the residents over in the Centerville section of the city as well as Belvedere. It's a situation. It's a difficult situation, but we are moving in the right direction with this, and I want to thank Mr. Fox and that team for continuing moving forward. Any questions, thoughts, or concerns, please don't hesitate.
Thank you, Manager Golden. Councilor Robinson.
I just got to say thank you, because when I was first elected on the council, I know that was a big issue for everybody. I mean, and yes, there's still plenty of ripe days that you get. I'm glad to see, though, we're moving forward on the different phases to try to manage and mitigate whatever we can over there. And it's just, I guess, part of doing business in that field. And thank you very much, you and your team.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Duran. Votes from the city manager. 6.1 vote withdrawn. 6.2 vote was withdrawn also. 7 we already did. The ordinance is from the manager. 8 reports subcommittee, if any. 8.1 wire inspector reports. Mass Electric Company, DBA, National Grid, request to install 1 JO pole on Stevens Street at McKinley Ave, 1 SO pole on Church Street, and approximately 5 feet of 2 to 4 inch conduit to a pad-mounted transformer at 242 Church Street. Install underground facilities on Middlesex Street and Pearl Street, 1 JO pole on Pawtucket Street. Install underground facilities on Middlesex Street and Canal Street, 1 JO pole on Westford Street and Wood Street, 1 JO pole on Westford Street and Technology Drive. Motion to accept and adopt accompanying orders by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Nuon.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Robinson.
can we bundle 9.3 to...
I got to do 9.1 first.
Okay, well, sorry about that.
Thank you. Petitions 9.1 claims 3 property damage. Motion to refer to Law Department for report and recommendation by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Dakota. Motion by Councilor Robinson to bundle items 9.3 to 9.7. Give first reading. Motion to refer to a public hearing on March 17th, 2026 at 7 p.m. 9.3, National Grid requests permission to install recloser at 12 Washer Street. 9.4, National Grid requests permission to install recloser at 313 to 317 Nesmith Street. 9.5, National Grid requests permission to install recloser at 491 Lawrence Street. 9.6, National Grid requests permission to relocate 3 poles on Wood Street. 9.7, Boston Gas requests permission to extend existing gas main from Dutton Street to Wigan Street. Motion to refer to public hearing on March 17, 2026 at 7 p.m. by Councilor Nuon, seconded by Councilor Liang. And now 10, announcements. Anybody have announcements?
Yes.
Councilor Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This might have gone under the subcommittee area, I'm not sure, but I am the City Council representative to NEMCOG, the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments, and just a quick report, I attended both the Metropolitan Planning Organization meeting and the NEMCOG monthly meeting last week. Many of the items that that NEMCOG and the planning organization discuss relate to some of the 8 other municipalities in our region, the 8 towns in our region, but some that are relevant to Lowell are that the Federal Transportation Improvement Program is likely being amended to allow the LRTA to use $7 million in federal funding to purchase buses and to use $500,000 for design services for an expansion of its building at 100 Hale Street to expand servicing of its buses. So those amendments now enter into a 21-day comment period. The LRTA folks did mention there's a 2-year lead time on getting new buses, so I thought that was just interesting for our folks to know. The other thing is that through NEMCOG, there is a list of Massachusetts urban and rural freight corridors that the organization is allowed to put certain amount of miles of roads onto a list if they help with freight transportation in the area. And the Lowell Connector was just added to that list, which simply means that depending on the project, it could be therefore eligible for certain additional federal funding. There's no funding that comes with it. Nothing is being planned. The roundabout at Gorham Street at the end of the connector is a state project, not relevant to this, but just that to be aware that, people are thinking about ways in which Lowell could take advantage of federal funding if and when the appropriate need arose. And just for my colleagues, typically I have a conflict with the NEMCOG meeting, which takes place from 7 to 9 p.m. on the 3rd Wednesday of each month. That is the Belvedere Neighborhood Association meeting date, which starts at 6:30. So I will join the NEMCOG meeting by Zoom as soon as I can. But if anybody else prefers to be engaged, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Duran. Councilor Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that the Ghana flag raising is Saturday, March 7th at 11 o'clock. And the very next day, it's a great day for the Irish because at 9:30 they're having an Irish concert at the church. At 10 o'clock in the morning is an opening mass with Archbishop Richard Henning on the altar. Then from St. Patrick's Church, we're going to go down and march to the City Hall for their flag raising. And I want to make it known that, and I tell the people from Ghana that we try to be fair with every group. And even though St. Patrick's and the Irish are having their flag raising tomorrow, we're still going to revert back and put up your flag for a week, just like everybody else's. So don't go by and think we forgot about you or we put put you aside. We're not going to do that. And on Tuesday, March 10th, it's Lowell Irish Week. So they're having a trivia night at Owen and Ollie's, and then the restaurant and pub in Drake. Doors open at 6 for trivia from 6, and then trivia begins at 7. Then Thursday is the Anam Cara Award at 7 o'clock at Mount Pleasant. Saturday, March 14th, the Acre Tour, 10 in the morning, begins at the National Park Visitors Center. Saturday, March 14th is the annual dinner dance at Lindsay's. Doors open at 7. There's many, many things that are going on, and Eileen Haley is tremendous at being involved with all of this. There's a Leprechaun Luck ticket, $25 a chance. So there's so many things that are happening. And then on Sunday, March 15th, is the Heavy Quinn dancers and traditional Irish music at Mount Pleasant. But I also want to say that I was informed, and I just paid mine this evening before the meeting started, that the excise tax bills were mailed out on February 2nd, and they're due back by March 25th of this year. Please make sure that you pay your excise tax, as I did already. Thank you.
I want to thank Councilor Nuon because he's going to represent me on Sunday is McNoon, and we got McDonough, so it's going to be a phenomenal thing on Sunday. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd just like to remind everyone at home, if you can, please take 2 minutes out of your time and try to open up any catch basins that are in front of your house, because we got all this snow. Now it's changed over to rain, and you will see water pooling in the roads. So every hand is going to go a long way. Catch basin in front of your house, please, if you can. Take a couple minutes just to clear that catch basin, because we're going to have a lot of, and with 50-degree temperature tomorrow too, between the melting and the rain that falls tonight, we're going to have a lot of pooling on the roadways. Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A little birdie reached out to remind me to wish our wonderful city manager an early happy birthday on Thursday, March 5th. Happy birthday.
Do we have to sing for him? Motion to adjourn by, I'm sorry. The birthday boy wants to speak. Manager Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I haven't spoken enough tonight, I do apologize. But I just want to say thank you very much. February 24th, we had a budget listening session, which was a generalization. Did a great job. I want to say kudos to our CFO. We tried to stay on track. The next one was scheduled for March 10th, which would be for capital. That needs to be changed to March 12th. We will let everybody know. It's going to be Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m. In the mayor's reception room. These are going really well. We really want to encourage everybody to show up. So once again, it is going to be Thursday, March 12th, 6 p.m., mayor's reception room. And everything you've ever wanted to know about capital, I can't wait to be there to talk about it, because it's so exciting when myself and the CFO talk about finances and things of that nature. It's really the joy. We should probably do it now. We have plenty of time if everybody would like to. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And
Motion
thank you for the
adjourned by
wishes.
Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor McDonough. Thank you.